Anubis.
Right. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. This evening, I took a little drive, man, over to Tennessee. You know, it's about 18 hours, but it's still a little drive. Man, I doing a little networking, man. I came across a very particular logo with a couple of ghosts on it. One's red, one's white, and I'm like, man, I like that. Then I really like what No Fear Paranormal, you know, and I like the whole setup that they got out, and I decided to reach out to them. And you know what, guys? They accepted my phone call, and hey, these nice people took a little time out of their day to talk to me for a brief moment. Then they say, yes, I would love to come on your show. So, hey, guess what? I have them on the show today. And guess where they're from? Tennessee. Man, I'm hoping that y'all win tomorrow. I really do. But if you don't, I understand too. I mean, you guys were playing Georgia. So, but with enough said, hey, forget about me. Forget about what I got going on in my life right now. We're going to turn it over to No Fear Paranormal out of Crossville, Tennessee. Hey guys, how you doing this evening?
Doing good tonight.
Great, great, great. Uh, get that straight. Man, my monitor just went off. Okay, back. I am back, guys. Hey, you know what? I'm looking at your Facebook page. First question of the day: whose idea with the twin ghost?
Oh, the twin ghosts. Well, I'm a graphic designer by nature, by trade. So I just happened to come across that and thought it was cute. So I put that together.
You're a graphic designer.
I am.
Wow. Man, can I hire you? I need
I'm-
the, there, I need a lot of merch that needs to be done. Or do you do merch or you do mostly commercial stuff?
Well, right now I do mostly just if somebody needs something.
She pretty
So
much can do it all.
yeah.
What that? Okay, well, you know what? Hey, I might have to do some networking with you here because I see that logo, that hoodie, that
My
black
assistants.
hoodie.
Yeah,
That looks pretty cool, dude.
that's our newest one.
Wow. So what are you guys charging per hoodie and t-shirt? What's the price there? Let's get this out.
Oh my goodness.
We haven't even gone that route yet.
I
We're
Oh,
mine.
she does okay. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think the t-shirts are like, I don't know, I think they're 25 and the sweatshirts are about 40. It's been a while. I put them online and I really haven't paid attention to it.
mm. Okay. Now I'm looking at your Facebook page, guys, and it seems like are you guys new to the community as far as paranormal investigators?
As far as being a team and getting out there to go to locations, we're
Mm-hmm.
not new to things paranormal in general, like just personal experiences. But I just figured earlier this year, I'm like, it's time for me to start doing it. Why don't we just start going out there? But then I got sick over the summer and it kind of stopped everything.
Okay.
So,
We
Well,
had
I,
sorry. We had also went out to Harriman Hospital and South Pittsburgh Hospital with Brian and Rochelle from Ghost Hunters. Met them, had a great time with them, and with meeting them, we met Ronnie, the owner of the two places, and got talking to them and Ronnie, and we actually started volunteering for Harriman Hospital and South Pittsburgh Hospital down at both in Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
So, and those are two great places. If anybody out there has not been there, not just because we volunteer there, but they are great places with a lot of activity.
Yes, a lot.
Okay. All right. Now, guys, we're gonna. I'm gonna ask you guys a bunch of questions. Just be comfortable. Tell me what you think. And relax and just let's have some fun. For all you guys that are streaming tonight, all the guys that are on the platforms, all you guys that are on Kick, Rumble, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, and three of my Facebook pages. Welcome to the show, guys. Uh, I am not streaming live tonight in the UK and in Japan. Apparently, there is some technical difficulties with those two platforms, so I'm not able to do that tonight. So hopefully the guys that are over there, they're able to jump on another one of the other platforms and be able to continue watching the show. But with enough said, hey guys, I'm going to ask you guys a bunch of questions.
Okay.
Are you guys ready for this?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm excited. I really am, because every time I talk to a team out of Tennessee, man, they are some of the best people I've ever had on the show. I mean, they're down to earth. I mean, they're real knowledgeable about the paranormal. They know the do's and the don'ts. Hey, actually, hell, they even taught me some things. So, but with that, uh, I'm ready to have some fun.
All right.
All right. So the first question of the day is going to be for the young lady. What is your favorite color, my friend?
Red comes to mind first.
Red. All right. Let's see here. That red?
Yeah, that's good.
Or, oh, that's black. That's orange. I'm trying to get it right for you now. Uh, red. What about now?
I think
There you go.
That's
that's a
pink.
nice color.
I think that's a nice color too. Hey, colors are gonna switch every now and then. See, there you go. Colors will switch, but we're gonna stick with that one. All right, so guys, you guys give me a number on how long you guys have been exactly investigating the paranormal, and very in a brief details why you want to investigate the paranormal.
Well, the investigating really started this year. Actually, going to places. I've had personal experiences. I think growing up, I was deathly afraid of the dark. Now, looking back, I think it's because I sensed things around me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had no idea. So I would sleep a lot of times with the light on. I just felt like something was always around me. But fast forward, when I'm from Norfolk, Virginia. I moved to Connecticut, and we lived in my husband's parents' house that was built in like 1910.
Mm.
They had two sets of stairs. The back stairs I was fine on. The front stairs, I had to walk with my hands behind my back extended because I felt like somebody was following me up the stairs. So
Wow.
I've always have felt something. My son in that house swore he saw his grandpa in there, but he wasn't there. And his dad saw a little kid standing by the bed, and I said that wasn't our son. Totally different clothes.
Mm.
Had experiences over time, and then I started finding out about ghost hunters, and I got obsessed with watching all those shows. And I've just dived lately, the past couple years, really dived deeper into spirituality in general. So that's what really got me into it.
Okay, now you getting into it, and when you getting into it, it's one of those things, man, where you really have to think about it. Do you really want to do this? Because I've always tell people, you know, it's kind of dangerous. You
Well,
know,
no, go
I
ahead.
mean, it really is. I mean, it's not in the. You know what? I'll be honest with you. It's not in the top 50 of the most dangerous jobs, but I'm pretty sure it's in the top 100.
Let me put it perspective the way I look at it. Now, for me, with ghost hunting and everything else, I grew up also from outside of Philadelphia. I pretty much felt like I had a guardian angel watching over me in bed all the time. There was somebody that was walking the floors of my house. It was a brand new house, but we were outside of Gettysburg and outside of Valley Forge, in between the two places, basically. And I felt like somebody was always walking in the house. And it never changed the pattern. Always came
Mhm.
into my bedroom until I went into my mom's room. Long story short, like I said, I always felt like I had somebody watching over me. But in Valley Forge, in my teens, I actually saw a ghost figure of a soldier walking and then crouched inside one of the cabins. So it's always fascinated me. Then meeting
Inter-
her and I got talking about it and everything, and I never really had anybody that was always interested in it as much as I was. And she
mhm.
made me more interested in it to go out and do more investigating. But the way I look at it when you're talking about fear and the dangers of it, kind of look at the no fear also with what we got. The way I look at it is I have my beliefs. And I'm Catholic, but I'm not here to preach that to anybody, and I don't practice that often. But when it says the danger, I look at it as if somebody's an a-hole before they die, when they die, they're still going to be an a-hole. I mean, you have heaven, hell, you have in between, you have people that may be lost, purgatory, and or whatever. But as for demons, I I've never ran across it. I'm not saying they're not out there. I'm not saying they are out there. I just say they're more manifested in people's beliefs and how what they bring on to themselves and how they attack the situation. They bring on more negativity to them. If you go in there with a positive attitude, I have the no fear of nothing's going to bother me. Nothing's going to jump out. If it does jump out, I'm looking it in the eyes, and I'm not backing down. And it is what it is, and we'll figure it out. And I'm not running.
Mm. Well,
That's
that sounds like the perfect investigator. I like the way you think. I like your mentality. Because I do know if we do run, that defeats the purpose.
right.
that
A lot
that
of
defeats
people
the
run,
purpose.
but if I hear a knock down there, I want to go down there and see what's knocking. So
Right?
that's where the no fear comes in because we're not really afraid. We'll walk through the hospitals in the pitch dark. It doesn't bother us. So that's
Mm.
why we're no
Now,
fear.
interesting. Are you still afraid of the dark?
Not anymore. I understand it more and I have a different idea of what's out there and I'm not afraid of it. Now I get
Hmm.
startled. I get startled, but I'm not afraid.
A lot of people always, I always tell people, man, it's not the dark you should be afraid of. It's what's in the dark, the unknown. You
Yes.
And
know,
that's what we're here to confront.
Yeah.
the what is. And all that stuff. It's really hard to, you know, because people always ask, man, are you afraid? I'm like, nope. Or it's what's in the dark that makes my hair stand up. What little hair I got on my head. Uh, you know, uh, the curiosity, the love for it, all that, combined into one makes me want to just do it more and more and more. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, with me wanting to do more and more and more with it, guys, if somebody came up to you guys and say, hey, I'm going to tell you everything you want to know about everything you ever thought about the paranormal, the ins and out, the politics, that's in heaven, because we all know there's politics in heaven. There's do's and don'ts. There are things you can do, things you can't do. So if somebody was to came to you guys and say, "Hey, I'm going to share this knowledge with you," would you guys still continue investigating?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I personally would.
I
Okay,
would,
now,
um, I don't think I'd want. I like the journey and the learning and finding out on my own.
mm, even though you know everything because this person has told you everything, so every question that you ever ask, you
Well,
already know it of.
who to say though they know it all? I mean,
Well,
in reality, when you look at it in general, when you get these people out there that says I'm an expert in ghost hunting, where'd they go to school? I like to know. Because when I look it up, they always say, you're a self-proclaimed expert. And
right? I mean, that's one thing that we're not. I mean, we would never be an expert in this, in this field. There's a lot of experts that are out there that are sitting at the scientific table. You know, it's a little bit different from what we do.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They actually go out and they find what they're looking for, but hey, it don't always work for us.
Right.
It don't always work. Hey guys, are you guys just a two-man crew or are there any other members?
No, just the two of us for
At the
now.
moment.
Yeah, for now.
Are you guys willing to expand?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we do have
Yeah.
friends that we go out with, like we do volunteer at the hotel, at the hospitals.
Hmm.
And we have other crews that we go with and on looking forward to going with other adventures and places with. So it's just us two, but we will be with other groups and also.
Okay, let's say if I wanted to become a member of your team, what is your, qualifications to be a part of your team?
Curiosity, wanting to find out what's out there.
Not running away. I mean, more or less being willing to stand your ground. And I don't
Okay.
care if you run, but just be more curious.
You know, yep. Would I have to meet a certain age?
No.
Uh,
Well, I mean, in general, we'd like to be able to see you be able to drive. Also, I mean, be able
hmm
to do so. I mean, is there family members out there that father son, mother daughter, father daughter, such and such, if they want to bring somebody younger with them, we don't object to that.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about Crossville, Tennessee.
Right. It's a small town that's growing, and it's actually growing a little too big for what we want.
It's
Okay.
centrally located. It's great for day tripping for people.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're an hour and a half to 2 hours away from everything. Chattanooga, Gatlinburg, Nashville, everything's within a little radius of where we're at. So we have great day trips that we
Okay.
can go through or weekend things.
Are you guys the only team in your community, or is there others?
I believe there is other ones. We haven't actually we do know there's the two girls. They really haven't named themselves as a team, but there's two girls that we know that are in town here. And there's other people out there that are going and doing their things, but they haven't really gotten on the media yet.
Okay.
Also,
Wow. Okay. Is your community aware of what you do,
Yes.
and how do they feel about that?
It is a very Christian based area. And in fact, I had a nice conversation with somebody today, and they are skeptical, but
Hmm.
curious. They're not saying, putting the cross up, going, we don't want to deal with you, and they're curious, and they're not telling you don't do it, and all. They're just, wow, okay, that's interesting.
I have a lot of people think I'm crazy. I show them the dark halls and sitting in the dark, and they're like, "You're crazy. I would never do that." I
How
You
tell
about
know,
to come with me, and they won't.
it's crazy. I hear that a lot. I hear a lot of people say, "Oh man, you're crazy. You sit in the dark and talk to yourself." Well, hell, dude, I sit in my damn apartment and I talk to myself. I mean,
right?
what's the damn difference? You know what I'm saying? But guys, your community is heavily Christian, right?
Yes,
Now, you guys are on that thin line of the Bible Belt.
we are. We're right there. We're in the Bible Belt, not on the thin line. We're in it.
Yeah. Uh, is it hard to say, or is it easy to say that you guys are having hard times get residential cases if you're in a certain part of a state or a certain part of a country where you're smack down in a very religious community?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's actually been one of the major crews out this way. And again, though, we do have Harriman, we do have other areas that are known that wraith chasers, ghost hunters, and all have been out this way and go to. So, I mean, as residential, I know of one that I can't think of the top of my head that was out this way and in the Crossville area that one of the big people actually did go investigate. But yeah, I mean, a lot more people are getting, I guess, I wouldn't say more comfortable with it,
Mm-hmm.
not frowning upon it as much, you could say.
It's a little more accepted now
Yeah.
than it's been before.
Mm. And why do you think it's a little bit more acceptable now? Is it because the older generation is their time is coming close to an end, or do you think it's the younger generation that are a little bit more they're a little bit more open to certain things? Which one do you think it is?
I think there's more communication about spirituality in general.
I think Ghost Hunters and the other TV shows out there, other than ones that are always promoting the demons, and all, have opened, and I won't go into names on them, but they've opened a lot of people's eyes, and they made them more curious, even though they're not going to go down that road, but they're
Mm-hmm.
more accepting us, our community of ghost hunters. They're accepting us more as, all right, let them do their thing and all.
And they're curious.
And they're curious about it.
Yes, they are. Guys, the biggest question I have for you guys? What do you think about Hollywood?
Hollywood.
What do you think about Hollywood and the way they portray us? I mean, do you think it's good for the younger generation, or do you think it's bad for the younger generation?
I think it gives them the wrong idea of what it really is. I mean, because we can sit in the halls for hours and not get anything, but they see the shows and they think they get all this,
In one night,
experience in one night, and they don't realize it's really
a
over
whole
a few
week
days.
or a few days.
So when they go to do investigation, they some people will be like, well, this is kind of boring. I got nothing. But I mean, I think it gives it the wrong idea. And some of them do the whole demon angle. And I just think some of the things it portrays just isn't realistic to what it really is.
Mm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So Hollywood is probably one of the biggest.
They're the thorn in our side.
Yeah, biggest thorn in the side. I was looking for another word, but you said it.
Yeah. Like a few more choice words, but that's
Yeah. So, what would you tell a up and coming team that reach out to you guys and ask for you guys' advice? And what would you tell them?
To
Have it?
me, I always tell people the biggest thing is always ask questions. Everything that's going on, always ask questions because it continues you to keep learning and keep trying to figure out what's really going on. There's so many aspects of spirituality and what spirits are. You've got some, with the heaven and hell. Me, we're on this plane, we're all spirit, and we're on this plane, and when you pass away you're on a different plane, but we're all in the same area. That's why they walk the earth and we can see glimpses of them.
We're energy.
We're all energy and spirit. We're just on different levels, so we all have different ideas. So I always tell people to always be open-minded to other people's opinion, because we all see things different, but there's really no right or wrong to it.
Let me put it this way also. When you think of religion, again, me Catholic, I'm not here to preach Catholic at all. I'm not here to preach anything. But who's to say the Buddhists, the gentleman that studied Buddhism, never heard a fly, never heard an ant in his life, pure as heck. Because we're Catholic and we say that we've got to follow this route to get into heaven, that gentleman's going to go to hell. Never heard a fly, believes in his beliefs, did everything his way.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to say he's going to hell because he doesn't study our way. I just don't. I can't grasp that.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying again, I'm right, he's wrong. He's right, I'm wrong. But there's a lot more out there than just what is written. I mean, the Bible actually is written by man, interpreted it of what we were told or how we interpret everything. That's why you get different versions.
Mm-hmm.
So again, what's to say this version is better than this version by all the cathedrals? Yeah, I'm stumbling over words right now, but all the different Catholic generations and religions. It's another word I'm thinking. But yeah, anyway, you got them all out there.
Yeah.
One's right, one's wrong. And again, we're energy. So
yeah,
where does that energy go?
So we just tell people to really keep an open mind, because it's such a vast thing out there. Don't be closed-minded.
Be willing to accept something that you weren't taught. Like, be willing to learn.
Right. I agree with you on that one, man. Life is, man, you steady learning as you go. From the time from you inside mama's tummy and you hear everything that she's saying, you evolving, and you continue evolving. And I think, me personally, this is just me, I'm thinking once you left your physical body and you become whatever you are in the next world, I think you continue evolving then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. You never stop learning.
Nope.
And knowledge is power.
Yes.
Amen.
Knowledge is power. Guys, okay, let's get back to your community a little bit, because I want to be able to look at Crossville in my mind. It's a small town of how many people?
Oh,
Growing by the day.
No, I've never looked to see how many are here.
Right. And the thing is, we also have an elderly community, Fairfield Glade, which is just on the outskirts of Crossville. And there's more people in Fairfield Glade than there is actually in Crossville. But and we have Tansy, which are both basically HOA communities. Tansy is more receptible to younger ages. Fairfield Glade was originally 50 and over, but now is kind of letting more in. But an actual number, I don't remember. I've heard it once before, but again, it's growing by the day. They're building out here like there's no tomorrow.
Okay.
Traffic than when I moved here.
Wow. Okay, guys, if let's say if social media didn't exist, we all know that's the best way to reach out to your community. what other ways have you guys reached out to your community with besides social media to say, hey, no fear paranormal is here. We're here to stay, and if you need us, we're a phone call away.
Without social media,
Mm-hmm.
Just wearing our shirts and having it on our car.
yeah, we have our logo on our car.
People, we picked up people following us through our shirts, and people come up asking us questions about it. And again, we just answer as best we can and as
Okay.
honestly as we can.
So, have you guys ever tried a meet and greet at a certain location?
Not yet. Like I said, I've been sick over this past summer, and I'm still recovering. So we really haven't been able to get out there as much. But 2025, we're going to start doing a lot more.
Okay.
We are
Cool.
interested in that kind of stuff, so we will be looking into it.
I see myself with the camera and I'm just walking. I can walk in a Walmart. I can, my favorite place, if I really want to tag the younger generation, I walk in a Walmart or a mall and I just go up to people and ask, hey, what do you guys think about paranormal? And not knowing what I am. And we'll get a dialogue going on. We'll talk. And they're like, well, yeah, yeah, man, it's so cool. That's when I introduce myself. I'm like, hey, I'm this, I'm that. I'm representing your community. And they're like, oh, man, dude, I think I got chased down by, I don't know, it was a car full of women. And they pull up next to me, and I don't know if you guys got tunnel vision, but when I'm driving, I got tunnel vision because I'm focused on the road. In Texas, you better focus on the road because somebody's going to hit you. I'm just telling you. So I just happened to look to the left, and they're like, ah. And I'm like, okay, what's going on, man? Yeah, yo, something. I got a flat tire, So I'm like, I roll the window down, and they were like, oh man, what you doing is so great. This and that, this and that. We would love to come with you one day. So they took my number off the side of the van. And one of them called me and was like, hey, I don't think we'll be able to do that. And I'm like, hey, no problem at all. But just for them to do what they did, that means that my advertising is working without social media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like to most, and just talking to people in their eyes and see how they, what they actually think. Because you can type all day and you never know what they're feeling or what you're thinking about it. So yeah, but see, then I'll go over to the Walmart and I talk to the older couples that are in there. Cause this community is pretty, I would say, it's got a lot. It's a pretty old community. I'm gonna leave it like that. And so they're always, and I go up and speak to them. And I tell them, you believe in spirits and stuff? No. You believe in this? No. Do you go to church? Yes. You believe in the Holy Ghost? Yes. Why you don't believe? Why you don't believe in ghosts? I just don't. Everything is in 3 words, no more, no less.
Right.
I had a great conversation today with a younger woman at the bank about it. And she's like, man, that's awesome, but nope, you'll never catch me out doing it.
Yeah, it's weird on how people, and it's just, and I could be wrong, guys, but I just think it's their history that sometimes don't allow people to open their minds and their ears, because in some aspect, in some cultures, certain people are told if you see something, you run from it. If you see something you don't understand, run from it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. In my culture, me as being a African American, That was one of the first things that my grandmother taught me. Like, hey, if you see something you clearly you don't understand, run away from it. And I did it for so long. I did it for so long. I mean, I'm walking around and everybody has deja vu at one point. Everybody do that double take. So you
Mhm.
thought you see something, but like, was that really there? Did I really see that? So naturally, I'm like, oh crap! I bet I got to get out of here. You know, especially when you in like locations where you know there's death occurred. So you visiting somebody in a nursing home, a retirement center, old hospitals that are still active. You get to a point where you in these small spaces and it's dark, especially at night when there's not too many people around, and you think you see something out the corner of your eyes. You see somebody peeping behind the door, so you do that double take, and I'm like, uh oh, it's time to roll out of here. You know what I'm saying? It is time. But as my kids got older, I had more opportunity. There was no more Friday night lights for me. Kids graduated, uh, put through to college. One's a blue collar. I'm able to move around, be a little bit more mobile. So I'm actually doing it a little bit more. And man, I love it. I would not change it for the world.
May I ask, what do they think about it?
My kids would not indulge in what I do. My kids would not indulge in it. I've asked, like, hey, you guys want to? Nope. I- you know, they're like, Dad, don't even ask me because don't get me wrong, they'll go sit in the car, but they won't partake. Now, when Mom was alive, she did not partake, but I think she went one time, twice with me, but uh, anything after that, nope, it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? But guys, now Tennessee has so much history. Have you guys been to the what is that? I'm not gonna say the Blair Witch, the Bell Witch.
Yes.
What do you
Yes.
guys think about that location?
We went there, but they kind of rushed us through it, so we didn't really get to do much there. It's like, oh, here's the cave. All right, now we're done. And we walk back out.
I'm sorry, we got to find a power supply to this
Uh,
laptop.
okay, well take your time.
Yeah, I should have plugged it in this laptop. You know how they drain the battery quick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I should have. But anyway,
that's all right.
but the history of it was really interesting. The area was real interesting, but we didn't really get a good chance to look at it because, like I
Hmm.
said, we felt very rushed through the whole thing. So
Now, is that a location where you pay your hard earned dollars to get into?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know the overnights. I haven't looked into the overnights there. You have to excuse me while I plug this in.
You're good.
The overnights. I couldn't tell you how much it is, but I know that it was a little much for just the visit, the tour, for what you get.
Mm.
But we just wanted to put that as, check it off on our list that we went.
Okay. Now, how do you guys feel about these overpriced haunted locations that people are paying a large sum of money to get into?
Well, I know a lot of places it costs a lot to upkeep them and keep them safe because some of them are run down. So, but there are some that just really go overboard. Like the places that we volunteer at, he's incredibly reasonable, especially because one of the hospitals, the historic Harriman Hospital, is 168,000 square feet,
Wow.
And I
and
mean, what they charge, I think and you bring 8 people,
I
up to
think
8.
it's like 550 for that hospital. Don't quote me on that completely. It's around 550 for the night, which
But
isn't
that's not,
bad really.
no,
Right.
it's pretty not bad.
And I
$100
mean,
a person can't beat that.
right. And what the thing that I really like also, I mean, Ronnie is great. Ronnie and Brooke are the owners. 2 amazing people, great down to earth people. And what I really like, we have public events, we have private events. And part of our volunteering is we got to go down for the private events and kind of either chaperone or let them do their thing and just stay there just in case something happens. But the thing about even with the public events that I always say, and we always say is, and what she kind of touched base on before is, you go in, you're not always going to have something happen. And also, I mean, yes, you're spending that money and it's are you going to have something hit or not? But the fact is, when you do have something hit, it's pretty darn cool and all. But the fact that you don't only verifies or proves that we're not out there faking something so that you get your money's worth. We're not staging something so that you get a good night and all. It's, you guys are doing your thing. You guys are trying out to see if we get, there's times we sit in there and we don't get anything and all. And then we have a public event. You might have one group get a lot of stuff and another group get nothing, or one group gets something, another group gets something, or the whole night nobody really gets anything.
Right. Now,
when everybody leaves and we go out, we may get a lot of activity because they know us. And
right.
It's hit or miss, but it's fun.
Now, do you think that's one of the discouraging things about paranormal investigators? I know a lot of people do get mad, you know, when they do, like you say, go into a location and they're expecting, you know, something to pop out, you know. So a lot of people, I've also heard a lot of people requesting their money back, you know, for reasons like that.
Yeah.
You know, Casper is not going to pop out at every time that y'all want Casper to pop out. It don't work like that.
And that is, we do have people that have left some of the public events. Like, we ain't seeing, you know, we're done. We're out of here. It's not happening. It's, you know, and you really can't say anything to them except, I'm sorry.
You know, people have to understand it's the thrill of the hunt that makes everything exciting. It's being able to do it and fishing. Say that you did it.
Go fishing. You're not going to catch fish every time.
No.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. But, you know, if I don't catch a catfish, I'm catching a buzz. Yeah, I'm catching something.
right. I'm there.
I'm definitely gonna drink a Budweiser, you know. But yeah, see, to this, you know, as much as time we can say time is changing, one thing that don't change is people's patience. Patience is something that a lot of people don't have. They want everything here, now.
Oh, it's hard. Yes.
We deal with the public in our jobs, and we see it all the time.
And to me, I think patience is the key to patience and respect is the key to everything.
Yes, sir.
And that's something. Now we're going to change subject here in a minute. We're going to talk about kids, future paranormal investigators, and so on and so on. But without patience, you have nothing, because patience rules our everyday life, especially when you have kids or you taking care of somebody, you taking care of the elderly, you have a newborn baby. It is patience. If you don't have patience, you got to get to learn to have patience. And that's
responsibility.
Yeah. You know, all right, guys, let's talk about the next generation of paranormal investigators. You guys have grandkids?
Yes.
How old are they? How old are they?
7 and 4. She'll be 5 this month.
7 and 4. Now, let me ask you a personal question. Now, if you and your grandkids are in Walmart and they ask you, "Oh, Grandma, can I get this toy?" You tell them no, and they have a spat right there. How would you react towards that?
Well, I can tell you with my daughter, when she was 5 once, we were in CVS and I told her you can spend $2. She came at me with a $5 item. I said, honey, I said $2, not 5. Well, she started to throw a fit, threw her body on the floor. I looked down at her. I stepped over her and I kept walking. She sat up. She looked around. She came up to me. I said, all right, we're going to start over. You have two choices, $2 or 0. She went and found her $2 toy.
Now, is that something?
You're our generation, though. You know what our parents would have told us.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You can get knocked upside your head.
Yeah,
Now,
you want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry about.
there you go. Now, guys, I've seen that so many times in stores where kids of all ages, they want something, but they don't want to work hard to pay for it. They want to, depend on grandmother or grandpa or the mom or dad. Mom said, dad says no. So they have a little hissy fit. They start, disrespecting, this and that, saying all kind of stuff that don't need to be said over something as simple as a sneaker bar or a candy, an ice cream, something such petty. You're willing to disrespect your elder just to get that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see the logic in it. And guys, now the way these kids are being made today, the lack of respect is not there.
There's some good ones out there, but the majority, unfortunately, are not.
No, and I'm not blaming. Well, you know what? What the hell? I'm blaming somebody because a kid is gonna resemble somebody. Yeah, I mean, a kid is not gonna do things just to do it. They're gonna see somebody else do it, and so on and so on. So they're gonna say, "Hey, hell, if I get that result, I'm gonna do that too." You know what I'm saying?
Kids are like a computer. You're programming them. You're gonna get what you do.
So the biggest question is, guys, if these kids, these future generation paranormal investigators right now, they're 15, 16, 17 years old. If they are disrespecting their elders, how are they going to respect somebody that is no longer here and can really hurt them?
Right.
If they feel like they're being disrespected.
I will say this though. The public events that we've had and the kids that are there for the public events, parents did them good. Parents raised them right, because we've got kids that are coming in and showing respect, asking the right questions, not demanding, patiently trying stuff out, and not throwing the fit because something's not happening. They are understanding it's like fishing. You're not always going to catch something. So
not always.
I give the parents that raise the kids that we're seeing in the public events right now, I give them kudos, because every kid I've seen so far that comes in, I tip my hat to them. They've got my respect. And also, if the ones that are coming out that we're seeing maintain that, then we've got a chance. But the ones that are, as you're stating, and we all know, I don't think they'd go into that field or our field, because they don't have the patience for it. They don't want, they got other things. They got a game they want to play. They got a computer they want to sit in front of. They don't want to sit out in a room and try to figure things out, face their fears. I don't see that generation of those type of kids doing our stuff. We may lose them to something else. But the ones that are actually coming out and doing it right now, I tip my hat to them. We've got a lot of good kids out there that are showing respect.
Is it enough?
That's hard to say.
Is it enough? That's the question. That's the $1 million question.
Right.
Also, guys, the foundation was set for us, and I always tell people this on my podcast. the foundation for us to be successful as paranormal investigators was set way before I was doing it or you guys were doing it. And with these new kids coming in, you know what happened when you get a hammer and you start hitting that foundation? It's going to crack eventually. So let's think long-term effect on this situation. And I take this situation very seriously because everything that me, you, and everybody else has worked hard for is in jeopardy. When you're looking 2 generations down the line, and we got this generation here and not doing what they need to do, would you say that's going to trickle down to the next generation of paranormal investigators? And if so, what exactly do you think those guys are going to do and be like when it's their time?
Well, we see some of the, and I don't want to name names, but some of the shows of the younger kids, and we watch every show out there. And I kind of get disheartened by the younger ones. They do a lot of joking around and screaming and playing pranks, and they don't take it as serious as like the original shows were doing. So it's kind of disheartening to see that. And I want to hope that some younger ones will come down the road and not be so childish about these shows, because we take it seriously. We're not trying to really, I'd love to make a living at this, but that's not, I don't want to end up getting in that arena of making a living out of it, because it always ends up being a sideshow rather than serious investigating. But some of these kids shows, it's kind of disheartening the way that they get on there to make a buck.
The one I'll keep bringing up is Ghost Hunters. I mean, we've met Jason, and we've met also Brian and Rochelle. And Jason, talking to him and all, and I've always told him, I said, I like how you guys keep it real and all. And their morals and their choices that they've made to pull out of some networks and all is based on basically the network saying we want to do this. And they don't want to do that to get more ratings. They want to keep it real. So the kids, as you're stating, coming up, I can see them, especially with the new AI that's out there and stuff like that. If the wrong ones get out there, I can see them using AI as something to manipulate. And the core foundation, like you said, will drop. And it may get lost in all this AI and technology that's out there. And all, which would be sad.
I totally agree with you. The bickering between Hollywood and YouTube,
Yeah.
That between YouTube and Hollywood, like you guys were saying earlier, it's hurting us significantly. It really is. As much as these YouTubers are wanting to do their thing, I really don't think that, as honest as some of them are, there are always those that were do their little, yeah. And, so it's really hard. I mean, it's going to be really hard to, I don't know, dude. I'm speechless on that. I mean, and the same reaction that I'm giving you guys now is the same reaction that I have on every other podcast when we have this particular discussion, because I don't know what the future holds for us.
It's disheartening.
Well, and plus the paranormal community was always close knit and like family, and now there's so much bickering and trying to pull people down rather than build them up. I'm seeing a lot of division within the community. And that's disheartening.
It is so heartening. And as much as I preach para unity, I like to support people. Man, I do so much for the community, but yet if I turn around and let you guys see my back, you'll see all the knives that were in there. And to this day, I still don't know why. You know, it's just one of those things. I mean, it's a to me, and I'll be honest with you, it's a lose lose situation to me when it comes to that because you always gonna have people that's gonna talk negative about you. You always gonna have people that's gonna want to fight you over certain locations. You always gonna have people that's just gonna, you know, try to rip your heart out. You know, for the smallest little thing.
Exactly. Or try to prove something you can't prove. They'll come up with a theory of what actually it is when we don't even know what it is, but they've got it down packed that this is what we did, or this is we were at a public, and our friends that are with us have a remote control car that is a RAM pod that sets its lights off and moves when, like a RAM pod, when activity hits.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff and I were talking, and we're like, man, this is going to be one of those ones where we're going to have to set it up, walk away, let the camera sit on it, and it's going to finally do something, because every time we tried it, sitting around, nothing happened. Well, that same night, it moved, and we were dumbfounded. And then later on, in that same deal, within minutes, whatever, we got it moving again and moving again and moving again. And we were like, wow, this is, finally somebody's playing with this car. So we were like dumbfounded, sitting there, amazed that it's finally working. Well, again, we're out to try to debunk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we went in with another group, and the car started moving again. And I just happened to notice I've got infrared goggles that I can see down the hallway, good 100 yards, a little bit more. I can see clear as day. And I happened to notice that when my goggles got on the car moved.
Uh-oh.
My goggles were setting the car off. So we ended up debunking 99% of those moving of the car. However, the very first time it moved, my goggles weren't on it.
Oh,
so
wow.
Jeff and I were talking, like, I know for a fact that I felt real bad, but because now we were all excited that this car was moving, but then we debunked it that my goggles were setting it off. So I was bummed with that and kind of sad that I had to let them know, yeah, dude, this is why it's moving. And that took the wind out of all of our sails. But then again, Jeff, and like I said, the very first time it moved, my goggles were not pointing at it. So that's
interesting.
Without me pointing with the IR on it. So we that it moved, but now anybody else out there, without me coming for it, I can let everybody that was there think that that car was moving by a ghost. I can, but that's not us.
Right.
We've got to keep it real and be honest and everything else. So once we figured it out, we let everybody know. Unfortunately, that was my goggles setting it off.
Okay.
But,
all you can do is be honest, man. You know what? If you are honest with yourself, you sleep better at night.
Exactly.
At that point, and I'm being honest with you guys. I can give a hoot what somebody else would say. If I'm being honest with my audience and I'm being honest with the people that I'm investigating, the residents, and I'm like, hey, I can't do that. That thing did not activate by itself.
Right.
Then like you're saying, some people would say, oh, just let it ride, man. Let it go. Who would know? No, because I won't be able to sleep at night if I did that, especially in a residential location, because
Right.
I'm not just dealing with an entity, I'm dealing with the family, and it would not be fair to them if I tell them something otherwise. All right, guys. there are different types of paranormal teams out here in the world. Uh, s- and I'm just trying to figure out which one are you guys? You know,
Pamela doesn't really say it, but she is sensitive. She does feel things.
uh-oh.
So when we went to Waverly, she didn't really feel anything there. But when we went to the prison, um,
Scott County.
well, Scott County there, but also the other one, right down here in Woodsburg.
Oh, Brushy Mountain.
Brushy Mountain. When she went into Brushy Mountain, when we went in there, she went into the lockdown area. And now, mind you, we're walking through. We had an inmate giving us a tour and everything. But as soon as she walked into that one building, she felt like somebody took a stick to the back of her knees
Oh.
and took her knees out. She was walking with a limp and everything the whole time in there. Didn't tell anybody, of course, but me. And then she was getting a name also. But as soon as she walked out of that building, her knees were perfectly fine.
Oh, wow. Well, man.
With her being sick, she hasn't thought anything here lately.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in what she feels.
Okay. Cool. Now, are you guys a validation only team?
Invalidation, how are you terminating?
Well, when validation is a team that will basically come in, validate, like, so people won't think they're nuts. Okay, well, you do got something here going on, and here's the validation for it. Or you guys can do a validation with a little bit something, a little bit more demonic.
Yeah,
No,
we're definitely not a demonic. Again, like I said, my personal thing is if somebody was an a-hole before they died, they're going to be an a-hole afterwards.
Exactly.
And also,
You know,
I mean, you're going to have asshole. Pardon my language, but you're going to have ghosts out there that's going to be mad.
right, right.
But
Yeah.
again, if it's demonic, I would think like the old saying of the poltergeist. Poltergeists are more or less something that you create. So the person that's there, if they're having an issue, I would lean more towards that, but I'd also need proof to say, I'm witnessing it. It could be this.
Okay.
To validate saying, yeah, it's cursed or it's, I'm gonna say this is what we have. We go by proof.
Okay. Let's say.
I can't say yes or no.
Okay. Let's say, for an example, you have proof. Now, are you guys prepared to handle such a case?
Yeah, I believe we are.
Well, and part of no fear is also we want to educate people to not be afraid, to kind of get away from the idea of these demons. And I'm not really sold on possession. So the no fear isn't only because we're not afraid to go in there, but also
you don't need to be afraid either.
To show other people they don't need to be afraid of it, and kind of get people to kind of explore what it really is and to find peace in it.
The young lady I talked to this evening, when she said, "Yeah, no, that's awesome that you do that, but I wouldn't do it." She goes, how do you? I said, I explained my deal of, I got my little bubble, I have my beliefs, and nothing's gonna, get in that bubble. And she's like, well, being her Christian, she goes, I believe, yeah, if you're filled with the Lord Jesus and all, nothing can get in there. I'm like, there you go. I said, so if you have that belief, then you can face pretty much whatever I walk into, or if you walked in there with me, you have that core belief, you can walk right alongside me and walk right up to whatever I walk up to, because nothing can get into your bubble. And she's like, okay.
Okay, cool. You know what? I think Hollywood put a lot of fear factor into a lot of things.
They have.
All the movies that, starting back from
Poltergeist.
I don't know how old you guys is, but I'm pretty old. You guys look younger than me. You look like you're about.
I'm 57.
Stop playing with me, man. You're about 40, and the young lady is about 23. You guys are young.
I am 57.
No, I'm 55.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing to hide.
So it goes back, and
Amityville Horror.
Probably past that, man. Probably when the original Dracula came out.
Yeah.
Even
Always that fear.
Oz, the witch.
Yeah, yeah. Even though I don't think she was just misunderstood. She wasn't
Right.
all that
She was
bad.
having a bad day.
You know, maybe she didn't have her coffee in the morning. It's just one of
Yeah.
those things.
The house
You
landed
know,
on her sister. I mean, she was pissed.
yeah. But you know what? It seemed like every movie, even though horror movies from back there are a lot scarier than what they are today.
Yes. Yes.
It's they always society have always had that fear just because of a movie. You know, and you're talking, and when you mentioned that young lady you talked to today, and I honestly can tell you that when you mentioned that to her, the first thing she thought about was probably a horror movie,
Mhm.
Right.
a horror movie she saw, or or she, and I'm like, dude, come on, man,
I even
no.
I even brought up purgatory to her. She goes, "Well, how do you know? How do you feel about what?" She goes, "I really can't understand, them out there." And I said, "Well, you have heaven, hell, you got purgatory, maybe you got lost souls." She goes, certain religions don't believe in purgatory and won't preach that. I said, right. I said, I'm not here to tell you that there is. I said, I'm not preaching that it is. I'm just bringing up different words and different things to possibly be what may be what we're experiencing. I said, I'm not saying this is it. This is the way you got to believe. But, and she goes, no, I completely understand. She goes, and I said, I'm not here to preach on it. She goes, no, you're not going to, preach to me, or I'm not going to be offended. And we had, like I said, a really good conversation.
Hmm, okay. You know what? If there were more conversations like that, I think people would be a little bit more open minded. You know what I'm saying?
My
So,
boss is a preacher, and he has his belief. He's Christian,
Well, he's
but
even told us of a
he
place to
he
go
he pulled
investigate.
us over aside at a wedding, his son's wedding. He goes, Tom, come here for a minute. And I'm like, I walk over. He goes, no, Pamela, you need to come over here too. This involves you. And he's like, I just heard over here at the state park, the one cabin, you got to look it up. He goes, you got that cabin is known for being haunted. And I'm like, cool. And he goes, yeah, I figured you'd like that. And again, this
mm,
a pastor bringing this up to me, saying, hey, have at it.
wow, guys, let's talk about the mental aspect of you know of being a not being a paranormal, of actually going into a a location with someone that has mental issues. Uh, in your line of work, everybody's numbers are different, percentages are different, depends on the city and the state that you're in. Uh, Maybe you guys can give me a take on what you think that just in your area, that most other locations, and the people that contact you have mental issues, and they think that they're having some kind of paranormal experiences in their house. Does that happen often to you guys?
We
There's one
actually had one, a friend of mine knew someone that was living in an apartment behind this little
restaurant.
restaurant. And I think he had a lot of issues going on. And he swore that he heard things. And even while we were there, he's like, do you see it? This, you just walked by. You just walked by. And I really think it's,
I literally locked myself in the one bedroom, lights completely out, and had all of our devices out. Nothing tripped, nothing went off. I heard nothing. She felt nothing. She was feeling better then. And yet he was still saying he was seeing things and
yeah.
coming in and out of that room that I was in with the door shut. So we didn't flat out tell him that there wasn't anything, but we talked to her friend and pretty much was like, now if we'd have to go back a few more times to get a better feeling of what was truly there. But with him claiming to see stuff there while we were there, and neither of us seeing what he was claiming to see.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe with his mental issues, he might have been perceiving things there. So I didn't really want to, I don't like to tell someone they're wrong because maybe they are seeing things we aren't seeing, as part of whatever mental issues, or maybe he's manifesting things because of his mental issues. But I really think that mental issues were
Right, the
at
base
play.
of that play.
Yeah.
Now, what numbers would you give actual paranormal cases compared to cases that are medically that need medically help? That need help.
In this area, honestly, we haven't, like I said, and we've said, really gone out into the community to really give you a good, solid foundation number for that. Unfortunately, this area is plagued with a lot of, I would say, drug paraphernalia in certain areas. The unemployment rate was at a fairly high area there for a while. It's gone down a lot now since, but unfortunately, there's still the drugs that are affecting some of our young kids.
Mm-hmm.
So to basically say that the paranormal is there, faces the drugs or the psychological effect from them, I'd have to say right now that's probably a higher percentage of stuff, but we haven't really heard anything because we're not out there investigating just right in the area right now. But I do have a friend whose son just reached out to him just today, actually last night, who's really fighting bad with drugs, and is now looking for help. And hopefully he gets what he needs. But
Yeah.
it is a sad thing to see the community where it is, and
Okay.
bouncing back. But we do have,
So we really wouldn't be able to give
Give a
you
number.
a number for something like that right now.
unfortunately,
Unfortunately. Okay. How do you guys feel about cemeteries? I
love them.
asked
love
people that. You love them?
Yes.
Mm.
I've
Do
always
you
been fascinated by them.
do you think that's a resting place, or do you think there's weird things hanging out on fishes and moving around and having fun out there? What exactly do you think's going on in cemeteries?
I think spirits can visit there. I mean, spirits, people think they're locked into wherever they died and they're locked there. They're not really locked. They can go anywhere they want.
We're balls of energy.
So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been to like one that's in Connecticut. It's the oldest one in New England. It's got a tombstone there that's like from 1640, I think.
Oh wow.
It's a very old place, and I've never really sensed too much there. And I've taken lots and lots of pictures there, and I've never gotten anything on them. So, but there are some places where I do feel energy in them because I love going to cemeteries. I don't know, I've been weird like that ever for years and years. So, but
Yeah, I think cemeteries are cool. There's a big debate about them, but I love damn fly. I love a good debate. Debates are cool. That's probably one of the reasons why I do a podcast because every now and then I get an opportunity to express my opinions and guests get to express their opinions, and that's where the debate comes in at. And I love a good debate about cemeteries.
What's your debate on, or your feeling on battlefields?
Battlefields. Oh man, one of the most famous one here in Texas is the San Jacinto battlefield and the Goliad. Those are pretty interesting. At night you can still hear the banging of the cannons, and it scares the hell out of you. You every now and then, if you listen late at night, you can hear a gun pop off. A musket sounds way different from a gun today.
Yes,
But I feel like those places, man, are hell. They're going to be haunted forever because
Yeah.
there's so much death and pain and misery and just sudden, just things happening so suddenly there. Yeah, there. It's not going. Dude, it's like Normandy Beach.
Right.
Can you imagine investigating Normandy Beach with so much going on at one time, so
Right.
much death around you? That place will be forever haunted.
See, so if you look at it that way, a lot of energy, emotion, trauma is in those areas. And so a lot of spirit will be around there. But if you look at a cemetery, people have passed away and that's just where they're buried. There's not as much of the pain and misery that might
Right.
be back where they died. So I don't think maybe there is much activity in that way if you look at it in that sense of all the emotion. I don't think the cemeteries have that emotion like a battlefield would.
Right. But I do think a certain types of weather can manifest
Oh yeah.
certain things in a cemetery. This day and age, a lot of people don't watch the weather. We think it's going to be, especially in Texas, it can be like this for now. It can be beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. 20 minutes from now, you might have an electrical storm come through,
Right.
and it amplifies everything. And I actually did exactly that, and I wasn't able to watch the weather. And man, I don't have any hair on my head, but I did feel it stand up. I'm telling you guys, and that bit of energy in the air, I guess it gave whatever was there the feel that it need to manifest itself. But dude, I've caught an unbelievable picture of someone looking behind a tree.
Oh,
I
wow.
see you, and it was unbelievable. Matter of fact, I'm going to. If you give me a minute, I'm going to send that picture to you guys.
I've got one to send to you from Waverly.
Well, I can send it over because I've got his.
We were at Waverly and we were getting a tour. It was Halloween, just before Halloween, so they had a haunted house and they had a tour for a little extra. And I'm taking pictures left and right, and a woman's trying to give a speech of everything that's going on in this one little area, and she's keeping it nice and dark. Well, I snapped my pictures, of course, with night vision and showed her something, and then I got excited. And I'm standing over there with my light on my phone like this. And this woman's trying to have it dark, but I'm standing close to her enough that the light's really kind of being rude. And she looked at me, she goes, "Sir, can you do me a favor and turn that off?" I'm like, "Ma'am, I'm truly sorry, but I'd like to show you something." And I turned around and showed her that. She goes, "Oh my gosh." She goes, "You can be as rude as you want with that picture." She goes, "I can understand your excitement." So I ended up showing everybody there what I got. And yeah, they all wanted copies of it. It was insane.
Now I just sent one of you guys a picture of something that I caught in a cemetery right during an electrical storm. Now you can blow it up.
Right
Tell me
around
what you think.
Oh,
Yeah, right around that tree. On the
Yeah.
right?
oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
cool.
awesome.
That was an awesome catch.
I'm gonna send her this picture again, and she's gonna send it back to you.
Okay.
And I want you to look at. You're gonna see the woman talking. She's on the left. You're gonna see a little girl on the right, and right in front of that little girl, I want you to blow up and look at that. It should be on its way.
Well, and see if I can get this.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to save it. Oh,
No,
here it is.
just share it back to him.
Well, it's on text message.
Hmm.
All right, here we go.
Get it right top. Right there.
There we go. There.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Right, basically between the windows.
Whoa! What? Oh, now that is a good shot.
And that's where, again, when I showed it to her, I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I said, but I got to show you this. And she saw that. She's like, interrupt all you want.
Wow! Can I share this on my Facebook page?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By all means.
That is an awesome. Hey, man, look like now gray hair, maybe short lady or girl. I'm trying to figure this out.
I'm thinking a little kid, but she was thinking it was one of the women that was a nurse there or something. But I'm thinking if you look at the kid, it's about the same size as the kid.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the feet down on the floor, and it looked like she got boots on, or those old timey ankle boots that they used to wear.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because that was taken in the surgery. It's like the trauma surgery room.
And mind you, the light outside looks like it's daytime.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually night out. That's night vision on the camera that makes it look like it's daylight outside.
Wow.
So it's actually all but pitch black in there. And all.
That is a great catch, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little excited.
All right. Oh, Fort Paranormal, how you doing today? Thanks for joining the show. I appreciate you coming on. If you got any questions for this team, man, they out of Tennessee. So if you guys practically almost neighbors. Feel free to give them a shout out. Virgil is from Manchester, England. Hi, Virgil. How you doing this afternoon? Virgil has been drinking. I can tell because he's texting some crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Virgil, are you drinking again? If you are, put it down. But all right, guys. Hey, I have two more questions for you guys, and I'm gonna get you guys. No, three, and I'm gonna get you guys out of here. First question is gonna be. Everybody has a bucket list. You guys have a paranormal bucket list? If so, where would you like to go?
Oh man, Trans Allegheny. We want to go to in West Virginia. That's on the list. I want to go to Dunboy Castle in Ireland because my family. That was my.
We're both Irish.
Castle, because my grandfather actually blew it up back in the 1500s.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and himself up. So I want to go to Dunboy Castle in Ireland.
There's a couple places that, again, I'm up from Pennsylvania and Penhurst and all of them. I've been to the battlefields. Well, there's no battle in Valley Forge, but that was my playground growing up. That's where I saw the soldier. Gettysburg I've been to many a times. I took her there the last time we went up. But there's a couple of sane asylums up there and Army fort that I'm brain farting on the name up near Philly that we'd like to go see. Basically, we'd like to go and hit all the places in the area. We just want to talk about. If it's on, we need to be there.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna. Are you guys married?
Engaged.
Engaged. How long you guys been engaged?
We've been together a little over 4 years, engaged.
No.
Okay, now, so would you know him pretty well? You know all the moves and out of each other. You know your mood swings. You know when not to be bothered with the individual. So you know all that, right?
Right.
Okay. So,
bother.
So with that said is, okay, this is a little story, and I want to see how you're going to react to this. This is for both of you guys. what is your work schedule Monday through Friday? Both of y'all.
I am a Monday through Friday. I work in HVAC. I taught an old dog new tricks and went back to school. I'm technically supposed to be a technician, but I really don't want to be on call
Hmm?
and don't want to work weekends or late at night. So, and I second guess myself. So I'm basically an installer, which I enjoy.
Okay.
For me, I work retail. I'm a head cashier at Lowe's.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the most hated position in the store.
She deals with the public, and yeah,
Yeah, so I'm there. I
she deals with the ones
mostly
that are up.
opening. I'm there at 5:30 in the morning, so
Oh.
I don't have weekends.
She has one weekend off a month.
So that makes it hard also for investigating because I only get 1 weekend a month off.
Oh my God, dude. I didn't think Lowe's roll like that. Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't. Wow. All right. Well, you know what, guys? Here's a little story. Now, you guys get up early in the morning and you get ready for work. Do you guys drive each other to work or two different vehicles?
Two different vehicles.
Ah, that kind of takes the fun away from it. Okay. Well, all right. So anyway, you're driving home from work, brother, and you're sitting at the longest red light in Crossville.
We've got
You know, it's that main rain light right down the street.
Yeah.
You know, but you're sitting there and your mind, you just got off work, man, and you just wanted to get home. So you look to the left and you're like, everything goes dark. Well, not dark. Everything goes deaf. You can't hear. The radio is loud, but you can't hear it. And you look to the left and you see this big white, yellowish orb come right at you. And you just like, you, well, man, does anybody else see this thing besides me? No, don't nobody see it but you. So it pierced the car, it pierced the window, and it hit you right in the chest. And it didn't knock you out. It kind of startled you a little bit, but you're like, oh man, what the hell was that? But the light's green, you continue going on. You
no. I'm
get to
turning
the
back and trying to figure out where it came from.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Those orbs happen to everybody, especially when they're about as big as basketballs. Uh, so you get to the house and your mind is distracted because you want to know what exactly happened. What was that? So you get to the door and your fiance meets you at the day. Hey, honey, how you doing? How was your day? You're like, don't bother me. I'm busy. I got things to do. So at that point, you in your grouchy stage because you want to figure out what exactly is going on. She noticed that, and so she kind of leave you alone. You know, Friday comes along, or since you don't work weekends, are you a late night guy, or do you go to bed like clockwork because your body is used to going to bed at a certain time?
I'm a 10 to 2 person. I only get 4 hours of sleep, but I can, if I stay up past 10 o'clock, I'm up. And I'll
Okay.
stay up for a while.
Okay. So, but that night you went to bed because sometimes people that have things on their mind, the only way they can get it off their minds if they go to sleep. I do it all the time. If it's bothering me, I'm not going to stress about it. I'll go to sleep and deal with it tomorrow. So Saturday comes along, you get up, you do your 3Ds, you do your poop, shower, and shave. And so you get up and you're like, man, what is wrong with me? I can't do this. I got to get this pressure off of me. What is wrong with me? So something tells you to go to Lowe's, to the same Lowe's where, you know, she works at. So she's already at work. and you go pick up this, you go pick up that. You pick up all the things you don't know why you're picking them up, but you're picking them up. So hey, are you guys able to see the comments?
No.
No.
All right. Virgil from Manchester, England says you look like Kenny Rogers.
I get
Oh, man.
somebody all the time. Who was it? JB says I look like this guy that wrote Star Wars.
I can't think of his name.
Yeah, now I'm brain farting on it. It'll come to me. But
Yeah, so
George
you-
Lucas.
George Lucas. Yeah, I get told I look like George Lucas also.
I can see that. I was more like Stephen King, but I wasn't gonna say nothing. You kind of look like Stephen King a little bit if you had some glasses on. But anyway, you get to Lowe's and you just start picking up stuff. You don't know why, but you need this, you need that, you need this, and you just happen to go to do a checkout, and your significant other sees you and like, well, what are you doing here so early? You're like, I don't know, I'm just picking up stuff for the house. So you kiss her goodbye and say, I'll see you later. So you get back to the house. You guys have a basement?
No,
Garage?
not at the moment.
Patio?
Yes,
Okay. You got a patio with a closet in it by chance?
no, we got a big shed.
Okay. Well, let's say your shed is your man cave. And so you go in there, you get home, you go in there, and you started. Are you a big tool guy?
Yes.
Okay, you get some tools and you start doing clinking, clank, 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 click, clank, 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 and you start putting something together, but you don't know exactly what it is yet. Time passes by. Next thing you know, your girl gets home. She goes to the attic. She goes to the shed, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Man, I don't know. I'm just putting this together." So he's like, "Well, what do you want for dinner tonight?" You're like, "Oh, spaghetti." So you go in the house and you start doing, getting dinner ready. You cook him spaghetti. You like your spaghetti in the oven or outside of the oven?
Usually outside.
Oh, with a lot of sauce or a lot of ground meat?
Both.
Sauce.
I'm both ground meat and sauce. But
You like cheese? Do you like American cheese or do you like Parmesan?
Real Parmesan.
Parmesan.
Okay. So she's cooking you dinner. And then, do you like cornbread with your spaghetti?
I like garlic bread.
Garlic bread.
But I'm primarily the cook.
Oh man, y'all never had spaghetti?
I've had cornbread, but
not with spaghetti.
No.
Do you put corn in your spaghetti?
No.
Corn? No.
Wait a minute. Where are you? I thought you guys from Tennessee.
Well, she's a southerner. I'm a northerner.
Oh, okay. So dinner's almost ready, but she's curious about what you did, on what you're doing. So she go back to the shed, and you finished. It took you from 9 o'clock that morning to late that evening to get it done. But she comes in and it's like, are you finished building what you're building? But you're scratching your head because you don't know what you built. Okay, so all of a sudden, you notice that you put a on and off switch on the side. It's no bigger than this. With the on and off switch. You see that right there? I got a little on and off switch. So she's like, well, can you cut it on? And she was like, oh, I'm afraid. And you were like, I'm afraid to. Oh, you wuss. I'll cut it on. So she reaches it and she hits the button. Oh, and she put it on the pool table. You didn't even know you had a pool table in the shed, did you? See?
I'm liking
so you put it on the pool table and it shoots a beam. Now the beam doesn't go through the shed, but once it hit the wall, it expands. It expands to the size of a basketball. And you look at your girl, and she looks at you, and you're like, "What the hell did you just build?" You're like, "I don't know," But uh, as time goes on, everything comes into focus. You're able to see certain things. You get to a Walmart over there, a Costco over here. Hell, there even a Lowe's 20 miles down the street you can see. Bank One, everyday life. You see people coming together. They just coming and going. And you're like, what the hell did I just invent? And for a minute there, you just thought it was a projection from down the street because you got the same thing down there. So, but it's not the case. Now, you're walking. I mean, you're looking, and somebody looks. Have you ever seen that when you're in the streets and you see somebody you think you know, so you kind of like, hey, I know that guy right there. Same thing. So this person looks up and you're like waves at you like, hey, hey, how you doing? And you look and you're like, I don't know that lady. And you're like, well, I don't know that lady either. So she's like, give me 5 minutes and I'll come. So 5 minutes come and she leaps into your reality. Now, what you built was a portal to the other side. So she leaped into your reality. She comes up to you and say, "Hey, grandson, how you doing?" Give you a big old kiss and kiss you on that gray head of yours, and says, "Man, I missed you." And she comes. She's like, "Hey, you're not a part of the family yet, but we cannot wait to embrace you as one of our own. We are looking forward." Oh Lord, now we're
Now we just had a sliders moment.
huh? No, I'm looking. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Quick. He says you look like Sharon Stone. Oh man, Virgil is a funny guy. So she grabs your hand and takes you and sits you on the couch and just start talking. She's like, "Grandson, we are so proud of you. We just, as a family, we just want you to know that how proud we are of you and your life. Keep doing what you're doing. And oh, by the way, it's not your time yet, but when it's your time, we will come get you and we will let you know. But in the meantime, you got work to do. Continue doing your work and we will be okay." So what happens then is you forgot the spaghetti was cooking, so you had to run in the house because you're burning the spaghetti up. So you run in there, cut the spaghetti off, and you got distracted with something else. So you and Grandma was talking. You can't help but ask, "Who are you?" And she's like, "Well, I'm your grandmother. I'm your great, 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 great grandmother. Four greats." So there's no picture. There's no picture of her unless somebody got one in the archives. There's no memory of her because your mother, her mom, and her mom probably you still one mom down, so they probably don't even know each other. So she looks at the time and she realizes, oh, I gotta go get these bags home for Grandpa. I gotta cook dinner for Grandpa. So she reaches up, gives you a big fat kiss on your head again, and said, "Hey, I will speak to you soon." Picks up the bags, jumps back through the portal, walks off, waves and walks off, and continue walking. By then, your girl comes back and she's like, "Where'd Grandpa go? I mean, Grandma. Oh, she had to go." And since you're not gonna shut the device off, she did. And she was like, "Well, what happened?" And she's like, "Oh no, Grandma, we just talked. You know, we just talked. It's nice to know that I've seen my ancestors from so many years ago, knowing that I'm gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Uh, with that story being said, that device that is sitting on your pool table, question I have for you is, would you share such a device like that with the world?
Mm.
Hmm.
That's a good question.
Huh.
Uh, well, I would seriously have to investigate with play with it more to see. I mean, because like now you're looking at, which I said a little earlier, sliders. So how many portals does it open? Does it just open to one portal to that generation? Does it? I'd have before I ran with it per se. I'd have to investigate it more.
Okay, now you remember that ball of light that
Right.
hit you from the left hand side?
Yep.
That that right there gave you the technology, the
Right.
willpower to build what you built.
Right.
Now, cause and effect. Your ancestors sent that to you. That's the only way they can communicate to you is they sent that ball of light and it gave you the knowledge to build
Yes.
what you built. So the next thing is you built it, you turned it on. The person that wanted to contact you came through, contacted you. Now, the catcher is you can play with it all day long. After all said and done, would you share it?
Well, trying to think what if
The
there's any
ramifications.
ramifications would be
Yeah,
of
I'd have.
that kind of power.
I mean, if it was meant for me to talk to my family members, because I'd have that knowledge of that. I don't know. I mean, as a
Might open a
the,
whole
the kid,
can
the
of
kid, the
worms.
kid in me would be like, yeah, I want to get it out there. But the adult in me, again, would be I'd have to investigate with it more to figure out exactly, it be
Which
is
of
it
the
yeah what like I said, does it open up different dimensions, or is it just that dimension to talk to my family member and
It's
all
made it's made for
for
you,
me exactly.
only for you.
And it's that, yeah, that if it's only for me, yeah, that would be, like I said, I'd have to figure it out. And if it's only for me, no, because nobody would really believe me. And why
Mm.
would?
Okay, now let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's say that you did share it with the world. It's on every shelf. I can go buy one for $29.95 and see my family members.
mm,
How do you think the world will react to something like that? Is the world ready for
I
something
don't think
like
the
that?
world's ready
no,
for it.
no.
That
Or
again, I don't think they would be ready for it.
or better yet, how do you think you are a religious man? How do you think certain religions would react to something like that, knowing what they've been preaching for thousands of years?
That there's it. The world's flat.
It's not right.
Right.
So, and not only that, what do you think other countries? I've seen other countries fight for far less. So, can you imagine them fighting a device like for
Might
something
have.
like this?
And if they're able, if the past is able to come through that portal, would they want to shut it off? I mean, they'd mess with it too much. They try to trap the people from the past or the future or the past, trying to trap them on our side. I mean, there's too many ramifications.
Now, only person, spirits.
They wouldn't be spirits, though.
Oh yeah, they still be spirits, my friend.
Oh no,
Because
okay, you're saying the spirits that are coming through, or are
yeah,
they just that are they that time frame actually? As
yes,
far as
they are your family members from long ago.
but they're spirits, not from that time frame.
No, they're spirits.
Okay, now I got you.
They come and go.
Okay, I got
No one made for you by. I mean, just everything was made for you. You can't share it. You can't. You know. You can. Oh, you can turn it on and talk to as many family members that you see fit, but you can't share it.
you.
You
Yeah,
can't. I
how would
mean,
how would I tweak it so that she'd be able to see her family members? I'd have. I mean, does that knowledge there? Or
in order for that to happen, remember what did Grandma say when she first came to the portal?
yeah,
We would not embrace you until you are married. So she would not be able to see her part of the family
right,
until you guys are one.
right.
So,
So
what do you guys think?
again, I don't think I don't think I'd do it.
Would you share it with if you guys had kids? Would you share it with the kids?
If I had kids, I probably would share it with the kids.
What would you tell the kids about such a device?
That would be, I don't know. It'd be hard to. Yeah.
That's
See, but now you got the kids. If they know about it, then they're going to want to tell their friends. So
yeah.
it's again kind of a catch-22.
Mm, interesting. Now, if the society is not ready for the world, when and will I mean, will they ever be ready for the world?
I don't know because I'm learning so much. Like my son is very spiritual and about looking at things, and I've been reading a lot and trying to understand things. And things that I've been seeing is there's time and space. Time especially is a construct that really past, present, future, everything is happening all at once. It's all, and I have a trouble getting that wrapped around my mind sometimes. But the past, present, and future is all happening at one time. There's no sense of time.
Being that they were all energy, it's all
So
basically.
it's just everything's all at once.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard to still wrap my head around it. My son will explain it to me, and he'll do it till the cows come home. But I still can't wrap my head completely around it. And he's a lot better at explaining it. So
Yeah, it is hard.
I don't think a lot of people, even from what I'm learning, a lot of people look at me kind of like, yeah, okay. So I think
Because
something,
they're so set in their ways from the religion that they've been taught. Too many people are locked into what they've been taught, not willing to accept. Again, going with Buddhism and all. You got the Catholics saying that you got to, or the Christians saying you got to do this to get to heaven. Buddhist did everything he could to be, straight and peaceful and loving as can be. How can we not say he didn't go somewhere similar or the same?
I think if started to open their minds to things that are really out there, I don't think they would feel safe in their little bubble anymore. I think
Right?
people, it would bring too much fear amongst people to really broaden out to what's so there's so much more out there that I'm learning. It's hard to in one show to be able to express all of that.
Exactly.
A lot of people are ready for what's really possible.
Exactly. It's I've always say, and I heard this from a good phrase from a gentleman that was on Men in Black. Humans aren't ready for anything, but man is. Humans, man, we've destroyed so much as a human being, but one man can change the world. That's all it takes is one man to do so.
Right?
You know, but with that said, guys, if you guys want to put this thing on the shelf and just let it collect dust, if that's the way to save mankind, because mankind will probably murder each other for the simple fact for a device that they don't understand or they never will understand, I don't
Right.
totally blame you. I would do the same thing too. You know what I'm saying? But with that said, guys, tell the world how to get a hold of No Fear Paranormal from Crossville, Tennessee.
Well, they can go to our website, nofearparanormal.com. We're also on Facebook and we're on TikTok. We do TikTok lives from Harriman Hospital mostly because it's closer, and also South Pittsburgh Hospital here in
South
Tennessee.
Pittsburgh, Tennessee, just outside of Chattanooga.
Okay, cool. Guys, just to let you guys know, you guys might want to consider getting Clapper. Clapper is a social media platform that's just like TikTok.
Okay.
The only problem is, guys, I mean, it's a good thing. The only thing is they won't they will allow you to stream live the minute you sign up. You don't have to collect 1,000 followers. You're able to go live. It's the same thing. It's just like the little sister of TikTok, but it's the same thing. And there's just as many followers on there as there are on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
And it's pretty cool.
We're definitely looking into that as soon as we jump off.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it is so basic, man. TikTok want this requirement, want that requirement. Dude, I've been on TikTok for 6 months, and I barely got 200 followers. For people that got
3 years, and I got one account, my fun account, I call it. I've got about 5,200 followers.
I don't think I will ever get that much. And I constantly, man, I'm always on there promoting the paranormal team, promoting the podcast show.
I call her my TikTok whore. she does some funny skits and stuff like that. She's a character.
Yeah, so guys, whatever you guys are doing, man, I wish you nothing success on TikTok.
Wish you the same.
I can't get it down. Okay, guys, any last questions or remarks about the show tonight? Here's your opportunity to do so.
Everybody's got it. One thing I'd like to say again, and we've said it a few times to the people that are out there, please look up Old South Pittsburgh Hospital and Historic Harriman Hospital. Two amazing places. Then we've got Scott County Jail and Rugby are another. It's a small historic town that's haunted. Mm-hmm. That good people, part of our haunted society group, and got to throw a plug in for them. Good couple of girls, women that are running those programs out there. So
cool.
Definitely have a plug for them.
Cool. All right. Well, guys, thank you for joining me on this Friday evening. I know you guys are busy. I appreciate you guys coming on the show. We've talked, we talked a lot. We talked about so many different things, man. And I really appreciate you guys joining me. I'll be contacting you guys in 2 months, to check up on you guys, see how you guys are doing. And man, let's keep this friendship going. If you guys are ever in Texas, please let me know.
Are you able to post? I'm sorry to cut in. Are you able to post that picture onto this site here or this show that we?
Yes. Oh, well, on the show, no. But I'm gonna post that picture on my social media, on my paranormal social media, and we're gonna see what people think about that one, because that's an unbelievable catch right there.
Please tag us. There's no fear on that. We'd appreciate it.
I will. But with enough said, guys, this is Terry with NSPS TV's Paranormal Podcast. Hey, man, I got to get ready for the Mike Tyson fight. You guys should watch the fight also. But anyway, hey, nothing but love for you guys, man. Nothing but respect. And, hey, I'll be hearing from you guys in December and late January. So
Okay.
that weird 512 Texas area code, it's me.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, hey, peace, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Have a good night.
Bye. Thank
Bless.
you.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to turn these things off.
we both got IT degrees, and we haven't used these platforms enough to know them.
Oh, wow.
All righty. All right. Thank you. Good night.
Y'all know my name, bitch. Y'all think I'm famous. Yo, this ridiculous, meticulous. Yeah, I'm ready, 10 deep, we dangerous. Yo, all about $1 and dream, no scheme. All when you call it right, me so mean. When I grind so hard that my shoes so thin. Not me, no harm, and I win your team. Yo, give me the lighter show, give me a mic, you know, plenty of line to go. Henny a line, my broke ball so hard, but I still got bounce. Troops don't made for you, racket sounds. We'll bring it up, but I break it down. Scan brought trees on my now. Got turn ready to hit, now we going out. No room where we showing out. Some renegades fucking up the game. All your lames, y'all ain't ready for these flames. Getting deadly in these games. In my lane, bitch, you know my name, run it. Renegades fucking up the game, starting with some renegades. Fucking up the game, all your lanes, y'all ain't ready for these flames. Getting deadly in these games. In my lane, bitch, you know my name, run it. Renegades fucking up the game, starting with some. Told them, bitch, I'll make it back. Yeah, 30 million streams, now as humble as it gets. I satisfy the soul, every goal I ever set in mind. Me, they out here plotting, but they know what to expect. Bars, candy bars, sugar-coated calories. Eating up this garbage, your peoples must have some cabinets. Never shed a tear as I'm tearing up these tragedies. Your drama squad